I got into this or started looking into this for more like parenting, right? When the parenting relationship, if we get curious with our kids over trying to control them, it's such a better thing, right?
Okay.
Because curiosity brings connection.
Okay.
Control tends to bring chaos. Hi, I'm Caroline Howard, a biblical counselor and certified life breakthrough coach.
And I'm Chris Oneth, marriage and family therapist and executive director of Downey Counseling Associates.
Welcome to Our Next Question, where we attempt to answer the questions of life through conversations in psychology and Christianity.
Remember, this is a place of discovery and definitely not the final answer. And away we go.
And we're back.
Tell me you have a question.
I have so many questions.
What is our next question?
Our next question is, didn't curiosity kill the cat?
That's what I heard.
And if you are watching on video...
All right, we have a prop.
We have a cat. We have a prop. Because we saw the cat and we were like, we should put the cat like it's dead. Like,
for some reason, we have a stuffed cat in our therapy room back here.
You know, that's comforting. Animals are good therapy.
They
things.
sure are. Yeah. They don't judge you. Well, cats judge you.
Oh, cats most certainly
cats are
judge you.
very
judgy.
judgmental.
Super judgy.
So judgy.
Which is an I think it's anthropomorphism. Is that what it's called?
Yeah.
Where
assigning
we put
human characteristics.
thank you. Wow. Jeez. I knew the word. I just couldn't quite articulate it.
Yeah. Smart people.
We assign human characteristics to like animals.
Mm-hmm. Or even non-living things.
Yes.
I think. Yeah.
Yes. That camera's staring at me.
Wow.
It's not staring at you. It doesn't even have eyes.
Yeah, there you go. Right. The lens.
The lens.
No, but we put all these human characteristics on our animals. I think I talked about this, but years ago, Melanie and I were watching a documentary or whatever, and not a documentary. It was like a news magazine show, and they had this little segment about the secret life of cats. Well, they developed technology back then to put a camera on the neck of a cat to see what it does. Well, it behaves like a cat, FYI. And so this gal's cat, she was flabbergasted to learn that the cat was going around killing birds and stuff.
Oh,
and
that's
she
funny.
was like, I can't believe it. It's like a lady. I'm so sorry. It's a cat.
That's what
It's
it
a
does.
cat. That's what a cat does.
It's a hunter.
It's like what? Yes. What else would it do?
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, totally. And so it's like,
so
don't
funny.
be a cat, please. Yeah.
That's so funny.
Well, how did curiosity kill the cat?
Yeah, we'll get there.
Satisfaction brought it back.
There you go. Now we
Chris,
know the same.
Chris revealed to us that there is more to the phrase than just curiosity killed the cat.
I never knew this.
Well, geez. I
Satisfaction
actually
brought it
heard
back.
it when I was teaching high school, and one of the high schoolers
Okay.
spilled the beans.
So here's our fun question.
The other one's not fun?
No, the other one won't be fun.
Okay.
If you could have only 3 apps on your phone, what would they be?
Apps.
And right now, I'm going to say the Bible app is just a given. That's your freebie. So 3 other ones. I know.
Was that an app?
So other than the Bible app, what 3? If you could only have 3 apps on your phone, what would they be?
Oh my goodness.
Okay. Wow.
Okay.
I think I got it.
Okay.
Well,
go.
wait. Does this include
What?
contacts app and?
Everything? The only app you get as a freebie is the Bible app.
Oh,
Wait, so like messaging and stuff is not included?
Yeah, no. I mean,
What?
you get
Oh, wow.
3 apps
Weather
total.
app?
That's going to make this boring, I think.
3 apps total.
I'm going to say that those are already included because I want to give my other answers. Otherwise, I'd be like,
Okay,
okay,
you can have,
phone.
wait. One communication app. You have to pick which communication app. How's that?
Okay.
And that has to be one of them, so then you get 2 others.
I don't get the phone app.
You can choose between
There's so
the
many rules to this.
phone. Well, because I thought giving you the Bible app was going to
It
be.
opens up other problems.
You have
you
to
need is the
choose
Bible.
between phone and messaging. How's that? You can't have both.
Oh.
Okay.
Okay, that's easy.
Okay. Are you ready, Caleb? Are you ready?
Sure.
Okay, go.
Well, I'll take my either phone or messaging. Either one would work. I don't need both.
Wow.
But you have to
I probably
pick
keep
one.
messaging.
Okay.
Yeah. Just because I feel like I use it a lot more than the phone.
Oh.
But if I really need to
Hey, you
reach
gonna call
someone,
for
I'd use the
Chinese
phone.
takeout?
I'll just use my phone at home.
Okay.
I don't have a landline.
We're bringing back landlines now. Thanks for the problem,
But
Caroline.
I would definitely need Google Maps big time.
Oh.
I think Spotify would have to be one of them. I listen to a lot of podcasts,
Yeah.
including this one.
Good job.
Thank you.
stuff. And then Letterboxd would be my third one, which is
What is Letterboxd?
it's a movie like social media app. So you log the movies you've watched. You can rate them and write a review, and you can see all the movies your friends are watching.
Oh.
Yeah.
Super cool.
That's important to me.
So now I've got curiosity about Letterboxd. So do you find certain friends like, oh, we have similar movie tastes, and if they've seen a film and they like it, and you're like, ooh?
Well, it's usually just people I know. A lot of them are from college because I took film classes, and so we're all on there.
So you're the hip, trendy, artistic film people.
Yeah.
Yep, we are mostly. But then there's fun, goofy movies, and it's fun to see like what other people are watching, what they're saying about it. And,
Sure.
Yeah. And it's also my most trusted source for like a movie rating.
Wow.
Like more than Rotten Tomatoes, more than IMDb, whatever. Like Letterboxd.
How so? This is fascinating to me now.
It's just a community of people who love movies like more than I would say like the average person.
I see.
And I found that the average ratings on Letterboxd tend to align a lot more with my perspectives than other places. But that's not to say that it's the best for everybody. It's just what I like to use the most.
Boy, that was
an in-depth.
That was very like kind. Because then I extrapolated from that average people don't have good taste in movies.
There's nothing wrong with being an average. Honestly, it's gotten so much harder for me to enjoy movies because when I did, film classes and everything, I learned all the different factors behind it. And now I see all of those and I can't just go in and like appreciate watching, some dumb movie. I'm like, oh no, but they should have done that. Or like,
oh, that's funny.
Oh, that camera move there. Whoa. Or,
so what I find about IMDb is, I mean, especially if it's a historic film, it could be the most well-made film ever, and someone will get on there, or a group of people will get on there and say, well, this thing didn't happen. It's like, okay, but it's kind of artistic license, maybe?
Right.
And so that could have never happened because of this, that, and the other thing. It's like, come on. Release.
So I don't want to get too off track on movie things. So what are your guys' apps?
All right, what are your apps?
Me? Jeez.
Oh, okay.
I was busy talking to Caleb.
Okay, I'll go next. My apps would be... So, see, this
you can't change your rules now.
This might show my age. I literally just got Spotify. I've been an Apple Music person up until now.
Oh.
So I haven't quite figured out
Spotify better than Apple?
That's what people say, but I don't know yet because I'm
better. Is it better than Amazon Music? Because I have Amazon Music.
I've only ever really used Spotify. I'm not an iPhone person.
I think Spotify, I think that's like the younger generations. Oh. I know. So we're kind of aging ourselves.
Goodbye, youth.
So definitely a music app because I always do music. Definitely a podcast app because I'm a podcast junkie. And
well, those can go together though. Those can be one app.
Let's see if I do Spotify, yeah. But if I do Apple Music, then I have to have the Apple Podcast app separate.
So just do Spotify. You're good.
Okay, so we'll just do Spotify. And then my camera.
Oh, wow.
Grr, you've forsaken your camera.
Good thing I have my own camera.
This is why I go last.
I have so many cameras.
Has a camera,
I don't need my phone.
I don't. Mine's my phone. And here's the thing. What's funny is I don't want a camera because I need to take pictures to store memories because I feel like I can do that with my head in my brain.
No, you can't.
know?
People think they can. They can't.
But I like to show people. I like to show people my kids all the time and brag about it. And so
there you go.
That's why I want my camera.
Sure.
Yeah. All right, go.
Golly, well, thank you guys. You've given me a lot to
consider and think about. So much, yeah.
Jeez, I think I would need my phone. It seems unfair to me that I could have my Bible for free and I still need to choose between my phone and not.
Well, because
she said you could have one.
You could always just go to Jesus. You don't need to call anybody else.
Go to Jesus? Wait, for what?
Whatever you need, you just go to your Bible app. Right? Instead of I'm having a stressful day, I'm going to call my friend. Oh, I can't. I don't have the phone app.
But part of our faith is the community of believers who are indwelt with the Holy Spirit.
You can have your phone or your texting. You get to choose one of those.
But that's one of the three. That's one of the three.
No, that one's a freebie.
Yeah, we kind of did
it. Oh, thank you. Okay. I think it'd have...
Because you whiny
I think
babies.
it would have my phone because I whined and complained. Okay. So I got the phone. Okay. So I got three.
Yes.
Ooh, the camera's good. I want to pick the camera.
Okay.
I want to pick a map app, either Gaia GPS, which has all the off-road. I have several maps that can layer and be individual units for my off-roading and so on. But I could also, I suppose, use it to get to like Bakersfield.
Okay.
Which is not hard because you just go on the 99.
Yeah.
But anyway.
Gotcha.
And yeah, like a Spotify or something. I could, because I do
music
enjoy
app.
podcasts. I think they're I use them as a source of education and knowledge base and stuff like that. So.
Spotify would be the perfect one because you can have music podcasts, and books.
Ooh,
Wow.
Forget about it.
I know.
Sold.
This is why Spotify.
not sponsored by Spotify.
Yeah, we're not.
Though we
I'm
are
learning
on
about,
the
I'm
platform.
learning about
Not
this.
yet,
I'm
Spotify.
learning this
Come on,
with
baby.
Spotify.
Okay, well there you go. Jeez, that was agonizing. Thank you for saying camera, by the way.
You're welcome. But now think about all the apps you have on your phone that you probably really don't need and you could get rid of. Some.
Oh, is this
or you
this-
need for like 1,000th of your life?
Well, yeah.
I did that last week. I went through all my, and I'm like, why do I have this app on my phone? I don't need this. And I
Googleplex
cleaned it
app.
up and it felt just so refreshing to my brain.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Hey, so didn't curiosity kill the cat?
Looks pretty dead.
Yeah.
I thought your feet were on top of
Our
it.
symbol. I almost
Hey,
did that.
cat.
I don't want to be like
Maybe
cruel
it's just
to animals
napping though.
type
We don't
thing.
know.
It is.
It is. It's just
Fluffy.
a sleeping
Fluffy's
cat.
just napping. Why? Why are we saying this? What does this mean?
Yeah, so I want to talk about curiosity over control. And the reason
Is it an either or?
Yes. The reason I got do you
Okay.
like my answer? Doesn't matter if you don't. The reason I got into this or started looking into this for more like parenting, right? When the parenting relationship, if we get curious with our kids over trying to control them,
Ooh.
it's such a better thing, right?
Okay.
Because curiosity brings connection.
Okay.
Control tends to bring chaos.
Oh.
But then the more
there's the irony.
right, the more I looked into this, the more I was like, this is not just a parent-child relationship thing. This is any relationship you're in,
Okay.
even relationship to self.
Okay.
Right? Especially as like I've studied somatics so much in the last couple of years, and I'm a somatic practitioner, of getting curious about what my body is feeling, what my body is telling me, what my thoughts are, helps me to become more connected to myself.
I see. Okay.
Yes.
As
So-
opposed to what? As opposed to like, okay, when it comes to your body, what? So one is being curious. What's the opposite of that then? If you're saying control, what does that look like?
It would probably be control of your body. Of I have a headache, I'm going to control that headache by just popping an aspirin.
Oh.
Instead
Okay.
of getting curious as to, okay, why, or we'll just go with like, oh, well, no, what's with that? Why does my head hurt? Like
Yeah.
what's going on that's causing this?
Oh,
Right?
sure.
Because that kind of then brings you to, again, the root of the problem.
Is it stress? Is it
Let's-
lack of sleep?
Right.
Do I
Love
have a
it. Yes,
medical
totally.
condition?
Right.
Totally.
Yes. Yes.
You're absolutely right. We don't spend a lot of time connecting in those ways, not to ourselves, not to others.
Mm-hmm.
We just want, it's like a binary thing, on or off. What is that code? What is code? On or off?
Yeah.
What am I looking
I think
at?
binary is good.
Oh, binary code. Yeah, it's the switch is on, it's off. And
Yeah.
so we have an ache, it's on, the ache is on, I want it off, make it go away.
Yeah.
Instead of going, that's
Yeah, what
curious.
is
What's
that?
going on there?
Yeah. And the control is when we get into that control thing, we don't pause. We just move straight to fixing.
Yes.
Right? In that,
Yes.
because we're uncomfortable.
Ooh.
Or we try to control our children because they might make us look bad. Right? So when we're going into control, what we have to, when you go into control, pause and get curious. Why am I going into control? Is this like an egocentrical thing of everyone has to think my kids are perfect or everyone has to think I'm perfect?
Oh.
Is it a pride thing?
Yeah.
Yeah, so really digging in and asking questions. Like if we just go into relationships, communication, and we're come from a place of curiosity instead of a place of control.
Okay. Walk me through a scenario where that plays out.
Well, let me say this first, because this kind of collates.
I'm jumping the gun.
No, you're good.
I am good.
And again, a lot of this does tie in with kids, but we can again pull it out to other relationships. Every behavior is an attempt to communicate,
Okay.
right?
Sure.
And so if we're trying to control behaviors, we're not listening to what is really being said.
I see. So we're either, it's again that binary, make it go away or fix it, instead of going, what's it telling me?
Right.
This is implications for like taming dogs too, by the way. It just popped into my head.
See, any relationship, even animal relationships.
I kid you not, because
It's just why the cat's dead.
the cat didn't play along.
He didn't play
So
along.
people get impatient with their dogs, that I've heard.
I've heard those stories too. They come from your wife.
So we have trained our dogs now. We have not trained them to not bolt off the property, but we've trained them when we walk up to their kennel for them to get on their beds and wait for us to open the door.
Yeah.
And let me tell you something. It took so long because, listen, younger Chris Oneth would have tried to train the dog by getting into the kennel, by forcing the dog on the bed and trying to make the dog stay there and do all kinds of stuff. In other words, not even being curious about why the dog is doing what the dog is doing, but simply saying the dog needs to stop that. Lo and behold, I don't think it was Cesar Millan, but it was a lot of other YouTube videos where they start to do a behavior and then you reinforce the behavior.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, yes, that's good. And then they read from you what you want, and it's all good times and smilings. But it's part of it. So much of it is action.
It's like communicating back with your behavior to their behavior.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So one of the things that, believe it or not, if they don't get on their beds, I turn my back to the kennel. They don't like that. I just turn my back to the kennel, and they are like, okay, I'm on my bed. I'm on my bed. It's just the craziest thing because it sure beats like trying to shut down their behavior.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So let me ask you this. It was a question asked to me by someone, and I've been pondering it.
Oh.
And I don't agree with this statement, but I haven't really fleshed out why. And it was back to every behavior is an attempt to communicate.
Okay.
Every bad behavior comes from an unmet need. And I don't agree with that.
Okay, what don't you agree about it?
That bad behavior comes from an unmet need.
I think I do agree with that.
That's why I'm curious why you don't.
I know.
You're not sure why you don't. It just
I'm not
doesn't sit
sure
right?
why I don't. Yes, exactly.
Okay,
it
that's
doesn't
what it
sit
is.
right because then I'm trying
Something's
to
weird.
like.
Could we change bad behavior to unhealthy? Would that help you?
They seem synonymous to me.
They are.
They are, but I almost think if you changed it to negative behavior, I would be happier.
It's the same thing.
That works.
No, but I don't know why. I don't know why it doesn't sit with me.
Are you taking part in negative behaviors, Caroline?
Probably.
Just kidding. So every.
I guess because if you flip it and you would say every time you don't have a need met, you're
Yes.
going to go to a bad behavior. And I think that's the part I'm like, but that's not true.
Yeah.
I think so. Then maybe an unhealthy person who doesn't have needs met will go to a bad behavior, but a healthy person whose needs aren't being met will go to attempt to go to a healthy behavior.
Attempt to meet those needs in a healthy way.
Yeah. So I think like saying it's like an overarching thing.
Okay.
Every time there's a bad behavior, it's because there's an unmet need.
So correlation.
But what if it's an unmet
is not
want?
causation?
Right. Because sometimes the bad behavior is because I wanted that ice cream and you didn't give it to me. So I'm going to throw a fit. And this is, okay, here's what I think the problem is because people would say the unmet need is that he felt I wasn't listening to him when I said no to the ice cream. So that's why he threw the fit. So I think that's my problem is how people will spin it. Does that make sense?
Well, again, it would be on the interpretation of the person who's offended and then takes part in the bad behavior. So much of it, because then we have to we have to be careful and be aware of our interpretations of certain things.
Right.
If you walk into the room and you have this look on your face that's just this scowl and you're looking at me, well, if I'm in an unhealthy, potentially stressed out or unhealthy moment, then I could take that as Caroline hates me.
Yeah.
And then I could act out, well, what's your problem? Sheesh. Or throw a cookie at you,
for example.
I'll
throw cookies.
But if I'm in a healthy place and meeting needs that I have personally, then your scowl will be more of curiosity on my part.
Yeah.
Instead of like trying to make that go away.
Yeah.
What's going on with the scowl? Is everything okay?
I think that like that's done in a healthy way. I think that I just picture, but taking that statement as a whole can create chaos and make really unhealthy things happen.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
it's almost like oversimplified.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I think
time.
I get what it's trying to say in that if we see what we deem as bad behavior,
Right.
not to immediately go to extinguish bad behavior, but to find the deeper need.
Yeah. So, okay. So like, I know, like what I want to say is that we don't condone the bad behavior.
Yeah.
But we can get curious and try to understand it and what is being said. So you can't have ice cream. You're throwing a fit. Hey, I see that you're throwing, right? There's the bad behavior, throwing a fit. So instead of trying to control the situation of please stop, you're embarrassing me.
Yes.
We get down to the kid and they're like, hey, I see that you're throwing a fit. What's going on?
Yeah.
Like,
oh man, this totally sends me back to when we went to Sacramento and my grandsons. And they saw, first of all, okay, so me in my 20s and 30s, you know, if my kids threw a fit, it was immediately like, you are not going to throw a fit. That is not going to happen.
You went to control.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Now that I have grandkids and I watch my my son-in-law and my daughter like do things in a more healthy way, I'm like, oh. So my grandsons, we were walking to the car. And my grandsons wanted cotton. They saw someone with cotton candy selling cotton candy. So it completely threw a wrench in everything. It was the end of a day. It was the end of a long day. Okay. It was also the end of a long day after a horrible night's sleep because of the fun and games and everybody was having fun. Well, they didn't get cotton candy and they completely and utterly melted down. And we're talking about like 6 and like 5 and 6, almost 7 years old or whatever. Yeah. Oh my gosh. And just lashing out. And then, and like I said, me in my 20s would have been like, oh, those bratty kids.
Yeah.
I just heard a kid screaming in the store. Maybe it was yesterday. And I remember thinking that as a younger guy, thinking someone needs to get control of their kid. And now I think, oh, what is going on in that kid's life?
Yeah, right.
Like, did that kid not get a good night's sleep, or is that kid not feeling well, or whatever? And boy, I guess I'm ready to have a do-over here with kids.
I'll tell you, like, I do not have this perfect whatsoever. Even like studying this again this morning to get ready for today, I was like, gosh, I just talked to my kids so wrong today already. But having a special needs child that can't communicate verbally with you makes you have to look at behaviors and go, what the heck is wrong? But I wish I would have expanded that over to all my kids.
Well, you know, I hear you.
So, okay, kind of moving on. So control is there's a couple other things with control. Control can come out of fear, right?
Sure.
Something's wrong, I got to fix this and I got to make it better.
Oh gosh,
because I don't like things
but you do.
Being wrong. Yeah. It can also come out of assumption making. Like, I know what's wrong.
Exactly.
Like, you know,
you're just a brat.
Right. You coming in a bad mood or having a bad day and then diving at me, and I'll be like, I know what's wrong with Chris. He's just a dummy and he's so mean and blah, 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 blah.
Some of that's true.
Making all those assumptions.
I'm not gonna lie. Yeah.
Where curiosity requires patience, silence, listening, and pondering. And here's probably the biggest thing is that curiosity is being willing to accept something that doesn't match our own preconceived ideas.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. You know, as you say that, I would add to this, it requires like connection to one's own feelings and being okay with them.
Yeah. Well, I think that's the whole thing. It starts within us, right?
Yes.
So if you get curious with yourself,
yes,
then you can pass that on and get curious with other people because you'll see those things better.
I was gonna say, this brings me back so much to our previous conversation, last episode, about, that individuative reflective stage, right? Where I think we can feel, even in our faith, the sense of control where it's like, no, I don't want to question things because then I'm going to I
don't want you to question
lose
things.
everything but being able to get curious about the things you believe then allows you to really take ownership of that and become stronger in your faith and maybe get rid of some unhealthy things that you were holding on to that you didn't realize.
Yeah. And so with curiosity, it is asking questions, but we even have to be careful when asking questions because a lot of times our questions could just be a statement we're trying to make with a question mark at the end. Right?
Do tell.
Give an example.
How can I fix this for you? Meaning I'm the one who can make it better.
Sure.
Right? What can I do to help you get better grades? So what I'm telling you is your grades are bad and I need you to know your grades are bad and you can do better.
Huh.
Yeah. So instead, questions like the best thing you can ask someone is tell me more.
Sure. I would add to this because we have these conversations with couples all the time.
Yeah.
Or even like parent-child. There's a question I can ask you in where I am curious about your answer and I'm willing to be still within myself and be okay with my certain feelings that are going on inside of me and I'm not afraid of them. So I can sit in your space and hear you out. But there's also a question I can ask where I'm just the answer you give me, I'm just going to hit you over the head with it.
Right.
In other words, what were you thinking?
Right.
What were you thinking?
Right.
That's not hey, I really want to know what's going on here. It's the next answer you give me. That's just it. You weren't thinking.
Yeah.
Oh, it's like, oh my gosh.
It becomes like that. Yeah. The ammunition you use against them.
No bueno.
Right. Yeah. A couple other good questions is help me understand what it's like being you. Which aren't even questions. It's kind of just more of a statement. Help me understand this.
Yeah.
Walk me through your day. What were you feeling?
Well, that's okay. So that's tough because that can be tough because traditionally, as people are people, we're not used to connecting to ourselves enough.
Right.
The typical teenage answer to that is, I don't know.
So, okay, that's great. I love that because I don't know is a lazy answer.
Sure.
Right?
Yeah.
Our brains like to be lazy. They don't want to think. And so I don't know.
No digging.
Okay. Well, you know what? Let me give you a couple minutes to think on that.
Yeah. Or we're afraid to confront those feelings that are there. And it's easier just to say, nope, not going to go there.
Right.
Yeah. I'll always ask, well, if you had to make something up, it's okay. There's no wrong answer.
See, and I always say, if you did know.
Yeah. So no, that's great because, by the way, this isn't just obviously you're not talking to your toddler like, a 2-year-old saying, hey, tell me what it's like to be you.
Right.
Although I heard my 4-year-old granddaughter, Addie, they've moved out of state. And it was a matter of getting up at 5 a.m. One morning, 4 a.m. the next morning. Well, the report back is that she is beside herself. She absolutely loves the road trip.
Oh,
and her 2-year-old sister is just not having it. But she's like, I really like road trips. She's super special. Anyway,
I love it.
So yeah, those questions you're asking then take me to a place where I have to connect to myself, and it's like, whoa, wait a second. And we are so used to going, I don't know.
Right. And we accept, and then everybody accepts that. Oh, okay. You don't know.
Yes, exactly.
We don't create space. Well, first of all, we don't create space for ourselves. So how are we going to create space for another person?
Well, yes, totally. And I've equated it like this. I've started throwing this out at people. If in this room there was a gold bar worth $100,000, and I asked you, where is it? Would you simply say, I don't know, or would you tear this room up looking for it?
This room apart.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You would. So it's like this energy
that's
spent.
Information I want.
Let me just try to dig a little bit here. And that's what it is even inside of ourselves until we build that muscle. That's a muscle to be built.
Right.
So yes.
Yeah.
Curiosity in the relationship with ourselves, curiosity in the relationship with others.
Yeah.
Nice.
So remember, curiosity brings connection. So if I get curious about where that gold bar is, I'm going to connect to that gold bar and be $100,000 richer. Didn't you love it? Jesus was curious.
Absolutely.
He asked over 350 questions
Whoa.
in his time, in his short amount of time here. In just what we can read in the Bible. That's not even all of it.
Yes.
You know, but think about like the woman at the well. It was,
oh my gosh,
where is your husband? And then, you know, he got curious. Here's the thing. He already knew all the answers.
There you go, right?
But because he wanted to connect, he got curious. Why do you doubt? Why are you thinking these things? He would ask the disciples or the Gentiles or, you know, whoever. But what about you? Who do you say I am?
Oh my God.
Like those just hit me like, because he wanted to connect with.
See, I'm still stuck on the woman at the well because his questions were not to bash her over the head.
Not at all.
His questions were, and yes, he did say, and the man you're with now isn't your husband.
Right.
He didn't say that to bash her over the head.
No.
He said that as to say, hey, I already know. And I'm still here listening.
Yeah.
And I think a huge thing about that too, as you say with those examples of Jesus, yes, he already knew. But I think the fact that curiosity then breeds more curiosity in that person to go, if you have a parent who's always saying like, oh, well, you just need to fix this or whatever.
Right.
Then that kid's like, okay, well, I guess I just need to fix that. They don't then become curious because their parent isn't curious about what's causing something. Whereas if a parent asks a good question about what is leading to this, or like, hey, how are you feeling? Then that kid starts to get curious about, oh, maybe there is something behind that. Yeah. Versus just being blocked off by that control. Yeah.
And just know as a parent, right? I don't know a million times a day from my 13-year-old son.
Oh boy.
Like,
yes.
You know, and it's always.
He really doesn't know.
He really doesn't. And he probably doesn't. And so it's because he's not going to stop and think about it. So it's, hey.
Sure.
And that's that I'm like, okay, well, that's your lazy answer. I want you to think about it and let me know. And then it's always, well, how much time do I have to think about it? Till the end of the day or the end of the car ride? There's a gold bar
in this room somewhere.
Right.
See, but there's some curiosity.
You know, so parents, don't get frustrated if your kids don't have good answers.
Right.
Or the answer, again, you don't have to agree with someone to understand them.
Yeah. Yeah.
You don't have to agree with what your kid is saying to understand them.
Yes.
You just need to listen, get curious, get connected with them, so then you can walk through it with them.
Well, then does that mean also, I would think that would mean that if you don't understand, maybe you haven't asked enough questions.
Yeah. Or maybe there's something, maybe you should turn it for a second.
Yeah.
Toward yourself and what's keeping me from fully understanding this.
Yeah.
Or why am I upset if I don't understand it?
Yeah.
Right? Because just because you might have a different perspective doesn't mean the other person's perspective is wrong.
Yeah. I think curiosity can be scary.
Yeah.
Because
it killed the cat.
Well, I think, that feeling of control is like, okay, I've got the status quo. I've got this balanced ground I stand upon. If I start to get curious and question things, it's going to break that status quo.
Yeah.
Whatever it might be. And I'm going to have to put in more work. Yeah. I might come across things that I don't like or realize are unhealthy or something like that. And it's like, I can just kind of close that all off and be comfortable with what I've been living with for however long. But then,
pass the carrot cake.
It opens doors that might take you in directions that are difficult, but will ultimately lead you to a better place.
But it's interesting because we keep joking about curiosity killing the cat. And I'm going back to last week to when we talked about Fowler's stages of faith and those religious sayings we hear all the time. They get stuck in our head. So how many of us have curiosity killed the cat stuck in our head in some way, shape, or form that keep us from going, we're just going to keep it the status quo of this.
This is kind of weird to talk about. So my stepdad came from a rough background. He was an alcoholic and all this other stuff. And I don't hold anything against him or anything. He's long passed.
Yeah.
But when I was younger, he got married to mom when I was 6. And so 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. In that span, if I would ask too many questions, he would always go, hey, Chris, curiosity killed the cat, as if to say, stop, right? Mind your own business.
Interesting.
So that then crushed all my curiosity about anything from there on out. No,
And yet you became a therapist who sits in a room and gets curious with people every day.
Well, yeah, but that came later in life. I could have used some curiosity in my 20s.
Right. Right. Yeah. So, okay. So go get curious.
Okay, then.
I mean, really, that's just...
It's so easy. It's so easier said than done. What makes it... What are some blocks to curiosity? Like...
I think it's the control, the fear, and the... I mean, really, it's just... Kind of going back to what Caleb just said, just that we expect something and we don't want to go out of those expectations. We know what's going to happen. We think we know what's going to happen, and we don't. Let's just keep it simple.
So we have to be kind of self-contained to be able to say, look, even if you're doing something that what looks to me like is not good, I need to be careful of my assumption, not emotionally react to my assumption, but take a beat, take a moment, and be like, hey, what's going on there? Help me understand that.
Yeah. And start with yourself, right?
Yeah.
I mean, we can even do this. I brought cookies today for Caleb's birthday.
Yay.
But on the way here, I'm like, gosh, the cookie sounds good. And I knew in the back of my head I was eating my emotions.
Oh, okay
We're
then.
just going to be honest.
You knew it and did it anyway.
And so I could have just controlled that thought and been like, we're just getting cookies.
Did you eat 12 cookies before you got here? No, because I saw you open the box.
I did.
I saw you.
I do have another.
At least you faked it. Maybe you. No, I'm just kidding.
I have a box of pastries in the car too, but those are for later.
Oh my gosh,
Let's just get honest. You put me in a bakery, I'm going to go crazy. I love baked goods. Holy cow, I love baked goods.
You put the alcohol down and picked up the pastry.
The pastry had been picked up since I was a kid.
I see.
But I get curious about, okay, why are you eating emotions right now? Ooh. Like, let's talk, and I have those conversations with myself.
You therapize yourself.
And I totally do. And then I go into the somatics, like, what's your body feeling? Like, does it feel like it needs the sugar and stuff? Why does that mocha cookie, why are you already tasting it in your mouth? Yeah. So it really kind of does start with yourself. Start getting curious with yourself, get connected to yourself, see what you learn. And then you will have the space and ability to get curious and connect with others.
Got it.
But it starts within.
Can I use a movie metaphor?
Please.
Oh, here we go.
Are you guys familiar with The Truman Show?
Yes.
Okay. No. Oh, Caroline's not. So it's this guy who his whole life has been televised. He has no idea. He thinks part I do know. His life is reality. That's basically what it is. But then weird things start to happen. And he's like, what is that? Like, why?
Canister lights starting to fall. Right.
So there's that curiosity. But there's a line in that movie that the director of the show is being interviewed.
Christoph?
And he says, why do you think he doesn't like question anything? He's like, well, it's simple. We accept the reality with which we're presented.
Yep.
Ooh,
so Truman has this choice where it's like, I can start to get curious. Like, I can either accept this reality that I have, and it's like, okay, I live in this world, and I just don't question why these weird things are happening. Yeah. Or I get curious and realize that I'm living in something that isn't real, that I don't want to be a part of, that I'm going to figure out that there's an exit. And I think that's so useful to us in our lives too. Like, we accept the reality with which we're presented, but what if there's something better that we're not like just looking into those things with curiosity?
Right.
Thank you, Plato.
Right.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you, there are days, I've had a few of them this last week, where I'm like, I wish I never would have started working on myself. Ignorance was bliss, and I just wish I didn't know what I know now.
But I think that's the beginning, like when you're partway through that process of curiosity, while you're still getting through to the other side.
It's like once you learn the real ingredients of Dr. Pepper.
Oh, I know them, and they're all great. It's got prune juice. Keeps me regular.
Wow. I think that's a good thing, is we can get curious, and we can realize that where we're at, it's all right. We can take
the Dr. Pepper is just fine.
Oh, I see.
Or maybe she's in denial. Who knows?
Could be.
All right, so didn't curiosity kill the cat? It did, but
satisfaction brought it back.
There you go.
Someone should bring the cat back to life.
Go, kitty, go. Fluffy, yay.
All right. The cat has been brought back to life. Jeez. All right, thanks for joining us, everyone. Go get curious. Have some fun.
Thank you, Caroline.
Thank you.
Leave a review. Share with a friend.
Bye.
Bye. Thanks for joining us today as we continue our journey talking about life's many questions.
To stay connected with us, you can follow us at Downey Park Counseling on both Facebook and Instagram. You can also follow Caroline on Instagram at Relatable Caroline. And make sure you tune in next week for our next question.